Good afternoon, everybody. Virgo here. It is February 10th, 2020. I have an interesting submission from a subscriber who you know who you are. Thank you so much for this from K2radio.com. This is with regards to a party that tried to scam FreedomArms company founder. And who we're talking about here is Richard Casull. Really interesting, especially to those of you that may be collectors of firearms. You're going to want to hear this. The Wyoming Supreme Court has prohibited a retired dentist and self-identified sovcitizen Freedom from the unauthorized practice of law after he deceived the late co-founder and well-known Wyoming gunmaker to revise a trust agreement. The court handed down the order on Wednesday to Clyde Wallace Stock after an investigation revealed he changed the agreements for Richard Casull, who was dying of cancer, and his wife Geraldine Casull, who was incapacitated with dementia. Gunsmith Richard Casull co-founded FreedomArms in 1978 and held 17 patents and developed the powerful 454 Casull cartridge. He died at 87 on May 6 of 2018, and Geraldine passed away at age 87 in February of 2019, according to the documents that were supporting the order. Stock has a history of this type of activity, including refusing to pay taxes. In the case of Stock, he apparently didn't believe that he needed to have a law license to revise the Casull's trust agreement. But in February of 2018, the Casull's longtime attorney, Kevin Voiles, notified the Wyoming State Bar that Stock, a longtime friend of the Casull's, set up a trust agreement with very unusual provisions in it. They included vesting ownership of the couple's real and personal property in him, and another man named Martin Ochi, who served as the trustees. Stock also prepared powers of attorney for the couple and the quit claim deed conveying the couple's real property to trust. Meanwhile, Jackson attorney Andrew Irvine sent a formal report to the state bar on behalf of a nephew of the Casulls. The report said Stock and Ochi provided legal advice and drafted legal documents for the Casulls. It appeared that MSSRS Stock and OCCHI Ochi preyed on this sick and elderly couple in order to undo their long-standing trust agreement and take their property and assets for their own. The state bar sent a letter to Stock and asked him to respond. When Stock responded, he wrote in writing, he wrote to them, writing, "I have never intended to practice law. If what I did appeared to be the practice of law, I apologize." Stock later sent a letter to the state bar to which he attached a list of cases pulled from the internet, which he said shows he doesn't need a license to practice law in any event, according to the court document. On March 29th of 2019, the state bar responded that Stock did engage in 4 incidents of unauthorized practice of law and proposed a consent agreement to stop, including making restitution and paying a fine for each one of those incidents, but Stock didn't respond. Instead, he sent an express notice of waiver of tort, a SOVCIT-style document that offered to settle the issue with the state bar, paying him $620,000. A month later, Stock sent the bar a notice of default when they didn't pay him. In May, the state bar filed a petition to stop Stock, who responded in SOVCIT language that he has not been a resident of any county in Wyoming or elsewhere. Quote, "The bar and the rules and power over a respondent does not exist. Respondent has no evidence of this court's jurisdiction and believes none exists." End quote. Sound familiar, you guys? The bar set a hearing for September 20th in Green River, and Stock responded that he was sick and just couldn't attend, adding that he didn't need to be licensed to practice law. The state bar responded that he had submitted to having a license in a profession already because he had a dental license from the Wyoming Board of Dental Examiners, and Stock responded He since had asked the dental license to be canceled, The hearing was rescheduled for December 3rd at that point. Stock, of course, didn't show up. However, Voiles testified that he tried to persuade Stock to rescind his actions, with Stock responding that he was only trying to help the Casulls. So Voiles didn't buy into what Stock was saying. Basically, Voiles suspected that he was part of a larger scheme by Stock. This was part of a larger scheme by Stock and a few cohorts to obtain control of the Casull's estate, including a large collection that was owned by Mr. Casull and the drawings and other materials that were related to his numerous related inventions. So this is a pretty ugly scenario here. But what I was most irritated about was what the Wyoming Supreme Court gave this gentleman, if that's what you want to call him, in terms of some form of punishment. So listen to this. The Wyoming Supreme Court gave a June 1st deadline to Stock to pay $4,464 to the nephew, a fine of $4,000, which is $1,000 each for the 4 incidents of the unauthorized practice of law, and to reimburse the Wyoming State Bar $5,877.67 for the costs of the hearing. I call that a slap on the wrist for something he should have gotten actual jail time for. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section, and the link to this article can be located pinned to the top of the comments. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.